Can everyone see the presentation?
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Okay. Welcome to the kickoff meeting for the 2024-2025 Robofest season. Our agenda today is we will go through our introductions. We'll discuss the overview and schedule. We'll highlight the general rules. We'll discuss the competition categories, including the open categories, the highlights of those, and then we'll go through the exhibition rules. We'll take a quick break after we complete that, and then we'll start with the game rules at the end. So if you have any questions during the general part, please hold them to the Q&A. We will make sure that we get everyone's questions answered, and then we'll go through another Q&A at the end to discuss any game rules that any questions for the game rules. So just so you know, we will be adjusting game rules if we feel we need to add clarity based on this meeting. So if you have something that's confusing you, if you've already had a chance to review them, please do let us know, and oftentimes we will add information or FAQs to the rules documents to help everybody who might have the same question. Our staff this year, we have our Professor Elmer Santos, the Robofest Director. Again, I am Shannon Polonis, the Assistant Director. We have a coordinator, Pam Sparks. She is also a full-time teacher, so she is not joining us today. Stephen Criscala is our database web app developer. Marilyn Wiseman is our department admin. She manages all of our purchasing and payroll. So we also have several Lawrence Tech student assistants. Some of them are returning for their third or fourth or fifth year. We have a brand new student this year who is actually one of our scholarship winners from Mexico. So Sebastian is joining us this year as a student assistant as well. So we're very happy to have all of our students participating. We cannot run this program without our staff and our very energetic student assistants. We also have an executive council. Dr. CJ Chung, the founder of Robofest, is our advisory board chair. He's also on the executive council. Dr. Curtright is a former director and chief game judge since very early on. And Dr. Eric Martinson is the math and computer science department chair. And these three help us steer the program. So we make our goals of being extremely educational and hopefully as good as we can make it. We have an advisory board, and thank you to all of them. I know some of you are here with us today. The advisory board helps us guide our surveys and make sure that we are reaching the right goals for our student achievements. We signed up some technical committees last year for the first time, and we are continuing that practice again this year. They help us define the competition rules, and they act as judges at World Championship events. And their bios are available on the website under each category. So thank you to all of our tech committee members. We really appreciate your input and we value your participation. We have a few sponsors this year. Our main sponsor is obviously the Lawrence Technological University, the College of Arts and Sciences, and the university as a whole. We have a few corporate sponsors that help offset some of our costs. And we are looking for sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring the events, we have our sponsorship form on our website or reach out to me. The overview and schedule for the season. Robofest was founded in 1999 by Professor C.J. Chung. It is a festival of competitions with autonomous robots, and we've serviced over 36,800 students. And that's just students that are participating that are registered in our system. That does not include students that are registered in other outside systems from our international partners. So we definitely know that we've reached many, many students, and we hope that we can continue to do so. It is a trademark of Lawrence Technological University. Our mission is to generate excitement and interest among young people for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, as well as computer science and AI. We also try to develop essential skills such as teamwork, leadership, creativity, communication, and problem solving, and we hope to prepare students to excel in higher education and technological careers. Many features of Robofest. We are managed by the university, faculty, and staff. We are 100% autonomous, whereas sensors are required. Any robot platform or programming language is allowed for most categories. We boast small teams with an average team size of 3. We offer challenging dynamic playing fields, unknown factors, and we discourage adult help. We really want the students to do the work. We recognize all participants, and we are affordable. We reuse old kits. Teams can purchase off-the-shelf parts. We are raising our registration fees nominally this year to $90. We host a variety of competition categories for more opportunities in STEAM learning, and we hold ourselves accountable. We host anonymous surveys of participants before and after competition to measure the success and to find ways for us to always improve. The assessments and surveys are conducted annually. They're anonymous, and we send out a link to a survey to the coaches when they register their teams. We do a before and after assessment to see the level of improvement for interest in STEM careers, interest in STEM classes. We publish our results in their annual report, which is available on our website. And we've also been published in a journal on educational research. We are offering scholarships again this year. There is a $3,000 annual renewable LTU scholarship for any student who participated in Robofest at any time in their career in any category. They must submit an application to LTU first, and then they complete the Robofest scholarship application and submit an essay. The letters of recommendation can come from a Robofest coach or mentor. The submission date is usually April 1st. We do ask sometimes and get extensions to that deadline. So if you have students that are interested in attending Lawrence Tech, please let them know. We also are hosting again the World Champion LTU Scholarship, awarded to first, second, and third place senior teams in certain categories. The first place team each receives a $20,000 scholarship certificate, second place 16, third place 14, for a total of $80,000, $64,000, or $56,000 over a 4-year career at Lawrence Tech. There are some requirements to meet those goals, and I think that we definitely want to make sure that we support those students. So we also encourage them to come and work for us. So we have a lot of fun in our office with these students. Michigan is offering the 99H grant funding from the Michigan Department of Education again this year. Teams can receive grants between $200 and $1,200, depending on the category and if the team is a rookie team or a veteran team. The teams must be registered in our system by December 1st. The pre-registration is open. And then the funds are awarded between February and March from the state of Michigan through the Nexus system. More information is available on their department website. And this is a new link this year. So if you have a link that's left over from last year, this has been updated. So please, if you're in Michigan, check out the grant and take advantage of this incredible opportunity to get some money for your school and your teams. We are looking for site hosts. We do have opportunities for local site hosts to coordinate. It provides great visibility for your organization. It also provides a good opportunity for STEAM outreach. And we usually have about a 4-hour time frame with a little bit of setup time beforehand. It's flexible scheduling. And the applications are available on the For Site Hosts tab on the website. We provide promotion on our official posters and our website, information management for team and volunteer registration. We provide all the competition materials and support your event. with signage, name badges, the program agenda. And then we also provide all the recognitions, the trophies, medals, certificates, and volunteer recognition. We just ask you to provide a facility, staff and volunteers, and you can also request from the teams a check-in fee to help offset your costs. Some of our international partners choose to manage their own registration materials own registration and materials, and they set their own fees. So the registration fee sometimes comes to us for international and sometimes goes directly to the partner. And then they provide the information or the materials on their own. So if you're interested in hosting, please send in your application as soon as you can so we can make sure that you get all the information you need. Okay, here's our schedule for this year. Our rules were published last Saturday, the 28th. Today is the 4th of October for our kickoff on Zoom. November, some of our international competitions will start. We'll host a second kickoff meeting on Zoom on November 7th. And then our final kickoff on January 11th. And that's when we will pretty much lock down all the rules and make sure that all the US teams are using the most current versions. And that's what we will also be using for the World Championship. We will be hosting workshops in January and February for registered teams. And then we'll be posting the workshop materials to our website right after that. So we can get that out to our international partners and teams that are not local to Michigan. We will be hosting a warm-up and game judge training at Lawrence Tech on February 15th. If you're local and you would like a team to participate, please send me an email. We would like teams, to come help us with our videos and judge training, something we have a lot of fun with every year. On February 22nd is the first day of US competitions. April 12th, all the competitions will be wrapping up. And then April 14th is the date that any video qualifier teams will have their submissions due. April 17th, all teams that are video qualifiers or on the wait list based on their score will be notified of advancement. We'll be hosting our Second Chance Michigan Invitational events on April 26th. And May 15th, 16th, and 17th is our 26th World Championship. And we are a week later this year. Just if people are wondering, the university is actually starting their calendar for spring semester a week later. So we cannot host our event until the week after Lawrence Tech's commencement. So that's why we are late. We are at the mercy of the university's calendar. So I apologize if this makes it difficult for some teams to travel. And I hope that maybe next year we'll be back to the second weekend in May. I can't predict that. So we are hosting on the 15th through 17th, and we look forward to seeing everyone at that event. Like I mentioned, we have technical workshops. They are free for game and exhibition teams. Other teams may also come if you're interested, but we do request that teams be registered for an event in order to take advantage of these technical workshops. Students can register for multiples if they were interested in different platforms or different categories. The materials, as I mentioned, will be posted to the eAcademy page. And coaches, we encourage the coaches to attend as well. So here is the current schedule for the technical workshops. We have two Saturdays in the winter, January 25th and February 1st. So please take advantage of those workshops. The registration is open. And as I said, pre-registration for teams is also open. So make sure that you're registered as a competition team as well as the workshop. On to general competition rules and highlights. Again, this is a summary. This is not the complete deck of competition rules for the general rules. So new coaches, if you're interested in learning more, please review the general rules, which are available on the main page on robofest.net. So we'll get started with the highlights. We do request that coaches are registered. They have to have a valid and confirmed email address. And this is the main way we communicate with our coaches. We also expect that coaches review and understand the general and the category rules that their teams are participating in and communicate those with the team members. Coaches will register for competitions. They'll enter and verify all student information, and then coaches coordinate the consent, release, and media authorization form either online by sending the link to their parent or a hard copy. Coaches should also coordinate the pre and post assessments online. They should facilitate, transport, and oversee the team members at team meetings and at competitions and ensure that the students do the work. Coaches and parents, teachers, or mentors should not directly assemble the robots, write or edit the code, or act as a team member during the practices or the event. And then we also ask that coaches agree to and abide by the coach pledge, which is here. I will not read this today, but please note that we do have a coach pledge and we expect coaches to abide by this rule. Who can become a team? Any organization, a school, a homeschool, civic organization, or club can form teams. Because our teams are small, it's quite easy to find a few kids from the neighborhood who might have an interest. There are grade level divisions for each competition category, but we do allow age division waivers. They can be requested during the registration period. A team member may join multiple teams, but they cannot compete on two teams in the same category. Say they can't be on two game teams. A team can also register at multiple qualifying sites or the video site if they would like a second chance to qualify. Our teams should do all the work. The coaches and mentors should only teach and guide and help to the teams find their own solutions. The teams should observe all the general and category rules. They should observe the event check-in time set by the site host, and we're going to try to get that information much more available to the coaches as we go through the season. The team should bring all the materials they need on competition day. We try to have extra power cords and patch cords, things like that for teams, but they really should understand that they need to bring extension cords if they need to and things like that. There are some very strict pit area rules that we expect teams to understand. We don't allow adults in the pit, and we don't allow communication with coaches and mentors during the work time. We expect teams to respect other teams and the spectators, and hopefully they maintain the spirit of Robofest. And we do have a team pledge as well. On to the competition categories. We have qualifier categories and open categories. And here is a graphic of the varying categories based on our level of math and science or arts, based on the beginning or advanced levels. There are game style categories with fixed rules, and then exhibition style that are more project based. So we offer a varied competition category. So hopefully the students in your area can find something that appeals to them and they can enjoy and have fun and learn something at the same time. We have two qualifier categories. Teams must compete at an in-person or video qualifier in order to advance on to the World Championship Finals. The 2025 game has two age divisions with unknown factors, and the autonomous robot is programmed by the team to play the game and to complete the tasks. The exhibition is our second qualifier category with two age divisions, maximum teams 5, and then the unknown factors for exhibition are lighting conditions at the event, and then the team has a complete freedom to show off any creative project with using autonomous robotics. Our game style open categories, we have Bottle Sumo, Junior, Senior Classic, and Senior Unlimited with a team size maximum of 3. Our Unknown Mission Challenge, team size of 4. And the Vision Centric Challenge, team size of 5 with a senior division only. We are also hosting Robo Arts for our exhibition style open category, Robo Med, and our 2025 theme for parade this year is Across the Universe with an expanded junior division. How do teams advance to the World Championship? Michigan teams, game or exhibition, have a certain way to advance. US and not outside Michigan game and exhibition teams are a little bit different. And then international teams, we'll discuss that at after that. Michigan game teams, the first place award-winning game team from each category, each qualifying competition automatically advances. So the first place winning team gets a ticket to the game finals. Other game teams will be invited based on their score, and that the teams will be notified of advancement no later than April 17th. Any team that knows that they are not advancing automatically or doesn't have a high score, or even teams that do have a high score and want to try again to win a trophy, they can take a second chance at the Michigan Invitationals or through video qualifiers. It's a separate registration and a new registration fee. And then the total number of teams advancing from those will be decided by the team scores. Please note that place award trophies are presented to 20% of participating teams at the qualifier. So even though a team might win a trophy at a qualifier, only the first place team automatically advances. For exhibition teams, the first place award-winning team has an automatic transfer to the exhibition finals. Other exhibition teams may be invited based on their preview video and their score. So the preview video link must be uploaded to the registration page, and then teams will be notified of advancement no later than April 17th, 2025. Exhibition teams who would like a second chance to qualify may submit a video qualifier. So once we get the video or the exhibition events scheduled, hopefully we'll have one early enough in the season so teams that don't advance automatically will have a chance to submit a video later in the season. For the video qualifier, it's a separate registration and new team number. So you would have to resubmit the preview video. You can update the preview video. It can be a separate video. Just so you know that it has to be, completed. The registration is a new registration with a new video and all that. So again, award trophies are presented to 20% of participating teams at each qualifier. For teams outside the US in the game competition, the first place team advances automatically. Other game teams may be invited based on their scores. Again, they'll be notified no later than April 17th. And US teams may also participate in the video qualifier for a second chance to qualify with a new team number, a new registration fee, and then the total number of teams will be advanced based on the scores. Exhibition teams, much like the US teams, first place winning team advances. Other exhibition teams will be invited based on their scores and their preview video, and they may participate again in the video qualifier USA submission for a second chance to qualify. For international teams, game, exhibition, and open category teams in member countries will compete and be brought into the World Championships through the directors in those countries. We have the list of directors on robofest.net. I've been trying to keep up with that list. Lately, we've got a few new people. So please, if you don't see your name or if it's not correct on our international directors list, let me know. There's been a lot of activity going on. So qualified teams will be advanced through the director based on a set quota. International and game teams in non-member countries may compete by a video qualifier with the submission due April 17th. If you have a issue with getting visa and you would like to compete earlier, let us know. That's something we haven't considered up until this year, but I think we should consider that if we might start judging the exhibition international video qualifiers sooner than April. International open category teams in non-member countries may register directly in the open category events at World Championship if there's space available. Okay, this is a lot of detail regarding the international quotas. I'm going to highlight this very quickly, and if you have any questions about this, let's hold off on the Q&A on this, and we'll deal with these at the end. So the quotas this year of an international game and exhibition, depending on the number of teams competing at a local division or category, we can accept up to 1 or 2 teams. So if a division is held, a game or exhibition division has 49 or fewer teams, 1 team would advance, and over 50, 2 teams would advance. Same for local, but the number of teams is a little bit higher. So the maximum number of game and exhibition teams per country is 2, and the maximum of open category teams is 2 per category. If the category is not hosted, the international directors may select 1 team per open category to represent the country. If space becomes available, we can open up quotas. If teams, if directors have more teams that want to attend based on the quotas that they've hosted, we can work with you. We have more countries again this year, more teams that want to attend, and more divisions. So it's really hard for us to, based on our space, host everyone that wants to attend. I understand that our venues are small, and we are looking into other opportunities to move venues on campus to have more space, but right now we are dealing with the space that we have. And we do ask that the directors fulfill the requirements by submitting their group photos to verify the numbers of students and the teams. So we are asking them to be accountable for, if you say you're hosting 75 teams, that you need us to send us the list of teams and their scores to verify. The video qualifier submission, there's more information on the website for this. We do allow game and exhibition teams to register. There is a $90 registration fee. For the game teams, the unknown tasks and factors are emailed to the coach, and that will be going out on Thursday, April 6th. So then the teams will have until April 14th to submit their video for judging. Adults may help produce the video, but the team should acknowledge everyone involved in the video productions. The adults should not run anything but the video. The team should manage all of the reset, and the judging should be done. Teams may judge their own, but with the judges would be verified by our local judges in the Robofest staff. And then the video should be uploaded on the team registration page, a link to that video. On to competition category highlights. Again, these are highlights. The actual rules for each competition category are available on our website. We're just going to highlight the bottle sumo is where autonomous robots will compete to push bottles and each other off of the table. There's 3 divisions. The junior division is limited to Lego and Vex robots. Senior Classic is limited to Lego and Vex. And then the Senior Unlimited category, which is open to any robot platform. Team size maximum of 3, and we do have some major rules updates. I'll highlight a couple of those updates here today. But the official rules, scorecards, and examples are available on our Bottle Sumo page on the Robofest website. So this year we are just using the bottles for the time trials. We're trying to make the time trials a little more challenging. And then the head-to-head is eliminating, it's just the robots. There's no bottle this year. So the junior division is made up of one table. The senior division is two tables with this type of configuration or a similar configuration or something along this line. This is not the actual, it's unknown at the competition. So for the time trial, you'll notice there's quite a few more bottles. So the robot will have to eliminate more bottles this year. And we're also reducing, we're removing the unknown task, start task. So all the robots will start the same way each round. So we're reducing the work time. And so that, yeah, there's a lot of interesting changes this year. We really wanted to focus more on the effort of the robot to remove the bottles from the table, and then have the head-to-head be more of the icing on the cake, more to say. The time trial should be that's where all the programming comes into play. The Unknown Mission Challenge is an event where missions are completely unknown until the day of the challenge. Teams prepare by bringing a box of parts, and that must be unassembled at the start of the event. And there are 2 age divisions. The maximum team size is 4, and it is limited to Lego and Vex IQ kits, but is not limited in parts. So teams can bring any number of parts, not just the basic kit. They can bring other parts that also are in addition to those parts. The Vision-Centric Challenge is still being developed at this point. We will hope to have the challenge announced in November at our next kickoff. There is 1 age division, and the maximum team is 5. The RoboArts is an exhibition style project, specifically focused on visual arts, kinetic arts, sculptures, performing arts. There are 2 age divisions, junior and senior, with a maximum team size of 5, and the rules are available on the RoboArts page. RoboMed is an exhibition-style project of biomedical engineering or biomedical robotics devices in healthcare using sensors and actuators. We're hoping that the teams have an entrepreneurial mindset, things that they could actually take to a market in the future. There are 2 age divisions with a maximum team size of 5. The Robo Parade is introductory level. Robots are constructed and programmed by the students to follow the parade route, detect other vehicles, and stop and start without humans. The season's event theme is across the universe, and that's pretty much wide open to space or Star Wars or aliens or the telescopes, NASA, anything along the universe. We hope that we see a lot of really interesting floats this year for this. But local events may have their own theme. We are actually hosting a fall Robo Parade here in Michigan in November that has a fall pumpkins and lattes and falling leaves theme. Robots pull or carry decorative parade floats, and we do allow and encourage moving parts. The age division is 4th through 8th grade with no age waiver. And as I mentioned, it's a perfect category for beginning teams. The maximum team size is 5. We do allow a team of 1, but they do not receive a good score for teamwork. And on to exhibition rules and highlights. It is a qualifier category, meaning that teams must compete at a local level or online qualifier through video submission to advance to the Robofest World Championship. A lot of times we have teams that will compete in an exhibition that has a RoboArts or RoboMed style, and then if they want to, they can advance to the open category from the exhibition style or for the exhibition qualifier. So we do encourage teams that want to do RoboArts or RoboMed and have a second chance to qualify or to participate. They can register for the open category from within the states to, start an exhibition and then move into either arts or RoboMed from there. So teams do have complete freedom to create any interactive robotics project with 2 age divisions, grades 5 through 8 and 9 through 12, with a maximum team size of 5. There are some project requirements and limitations. They need to produce a brief written project description in the system, provide a preview video link uploaded to the registration system, and then source code within 1 week prior to the competition for the judges to review. They should also bring all the necessary materials for their presentation, and they can use any materials that are safe for humans. We do encourage robot to robot and robot to human interactions in these projects. Wireless program controlled remotes are allowed, but nothing that's hardwired. Robots must employ sensors, and we do limit the demo space for each team to a maximum of 64 square feet. So as I mentioned, projects that are entered in any other competition category can be entered, but if they previously participated in RoboArts or RoboMed or exhibition prior, they can just make adjustments to a prior exhibition, but they must add new features or significantly improve or change, and then those must be called out. So if judges are seeing a project for a second time, they need to explain what's different and what's better. Okay, so at this point, we're going to take a break. We're going to turn off the screen share for a minute and answer any questions. Take a breather. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. You can just give us.
Hi, this is Ria, and I had a question.
Sure.
It seems like for fourth graders, only the Robo Parade is what fourth graders will be allowed in.
Well, we do have age waiver requests. So if they're all fourth graders, we recommend parade. If you have a fourth grader or 2 that are participating with a group of older 5th or 6th graders, you can request an age waiver for those students.
Okay.
What happens when you're registering the student, when you put their name in the registration, you put their name in, and then you put their grade in, and if it's outside the parameters of the actual grade, for example, 4th grade, it would pop up in the system, and you just enter the age waiver request, and it sends the request to me. So just, if everyone's great with the kids, 4th graders participating with older kids, then we recommend that, we encourage that, and that we like to get the younger ones involved as much as we can.
Okay. We have a team of 5 that we've formed, and some of them are 5th graders, but I think 2 or 3 are 4th graders.
Okay, yeah, just go ahead and submit the age waiver request when you register the team, and yeah, as long as they're not all 4th graders, we're okay with granting the requests.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions up to this point? Yeah, Betty?
There's a question on the math challenge for Bottle Sumo.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you
So
answer
basically
that.
the question was, is there one this year? And the answer is no. The goals of the revised Bottle Sumo rules were to try to simplify it specifically for the judges so they could focus on fewer tasks. Also, during the World Championship, we wanted to reduce the amount of time it took for the event and the amount of time it takes for Bottle Sumo events in general. So that's why we eliminated the math task for this year. It may come back, but it's gone for this year.
Betty, you had a question?
Yes, it's a small question, but I have a team preparing for a Robo Parade, and they have a question. We know that the screen needs to be visible so you can see the speed that the robot is traveling. Can they have a piece that's on a hinge that would cover the screen but could be opened? And how much of the time does it need to be open so you can see the screen?
Yeah, that would be fine. I mean, basically, this needs to be open for during the judging, you know, the testing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, it looks like there's a question in the chat about programming languages. Yeah, no, I don't think there aren't any specific restrictions on programming languages.
We only restrict some platforms in some categories. In Bottle
Right.
Sumo, we restrict just because we want, we need to be a little more even for the head-to-head, in platform, and then also on the UMC, challenge. But if there is no limit to the programming language.
Right. Within those platforms, there are lots of options from, you know, basic block coding to text languages.
Any other questions?
When
Yes,
we-
there is
we-
no slope board, no ramp this year for Bottle Sumo. We tried that last year. It was fun. It was challenging. It was hard to judge.
It was hard to judge, and the ramps are kind of uneven from table to
Yeah.
table. But
Yeah, it
my
was-
question is that I want to be clear, when the bottles are placed on the table, are they placed at a random location?
But for the time trial, no, it's going to be the same location for all the teams. That's
Okay, and but will the location be known before the competition starts? In other words,
no, it won't.
okay, now, after the bottles are placed, my understanding is that no programming of the robot can take place whatsoever.
Yes, we've added some rules to clarify that. Basically,
Okay, perfect.
yeah,
That-
yeah,
that was-
no calibration, no.
Okay, you've answered my question.
Yeah,
perfectly.
right. But basically, we want a one motion start common for every round. So there's right. Try to
Okay.
eliminate that.
Thank you. There you go. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're at a good spot here. Elmer, do you want to take a 5-minute break, or do you want to just keep moving forward?
I think we can move on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't we go ahead?
Hey, this is Manish. I have a question.
Sure.
For the
Okay.
team, for the students, and is that need to be made by individual? They are all making by themselves. Like my daughter, she's in CCA. So is that the groups and everything that will be made by individual, or we have to pick up our own team, or how the things will work?
I'm not sure I understand the question. You're saying that your daughter wants to join a Robofest
No,
team?
she's in the team, but to selecting the participants and selecting the team, is that by individual, or it need to be by it need to be we have to pick our own team, or it need to be in you guys will going to help us out to select creating the team?
The coaches are responsible for the team. We don't, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to coordinate team development at this area. We can do
Okay.
workshops, but if
Okay.
you can register as the coach and register the team, in the
Okay.
registration system.
Okay. All right. No issue. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, should we proceed with the game rollout?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if it's working. All right, thank you everyone for joining us. It's my pleasure to introduce the new 2025 game, Robot Parking Valet. Yeah, here's the game scenario. Looking for a parking spot can be a challenge. Imagine a future where your car is automatically parked conveniently, safely, and efficiently for you, then automatically brought to you along with the keys on demand. Robotic parking systems can even stack parked vehicles for even greater space utilization. All right, so getting into a little bit more detail, here's the game synopsis. the robot starts what we refer to as the west side of the field. It has to survey the parking lot, which basically means visiting X, Y, and Z. Moving the keys, which are right here, and the black vehicle, which is this one, to the pickup area, which is right here. Parking the white vehicle in a parking spot, which can either be an open spot or stacked on a vehicle that's adjacent to an open spot. As traditional, the game run maximum is 2 minutes and 1 full reset is allowed. All tasks must be autonomous, and that there will be certain unknown tasking factors such as the robot starting orientation. Yeah, this one's showing the robot basically facing down the line, but it could start facing north, south, east, west, or somewhere in between. That will be specified at the competition. The black vehicle location, the white vehicle location for junior only, and other vehicle locations, which are represented by these black box. Okay, next, I'd like to show you a video that kind of illustrates the new game. Shannon, do you have the video? Yeah, hopefully that'll give you a better idea of how the game works. Yeah, Shannon, I can't see the seat of the.
Okay, hold on.
video. Yeah, if that doesn't work, I can try sharing from my side
No.
too. Yeah.
Sorry, can you see it now?
Yeah, there's that black rectangle. It's okay, good. Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, good. Okay, hopefully that gave you a better idea of how the game works. Let's see where. Oh, sorry, I'm having trouble getting this in presentation mode. Okay, here we go. Okay, once again, we have 2 age divisions, junior and senior, maximum team size of 5. As mentioned earlier, the registration fee is $90 this year. This will help us cover our cost. Teams must review and abide by the 2025 general rules. And each team member must sign a consent form. This is the field setup. Yeah, it's basically a parking lot theme. So you've got the main parking aisle, excuse me, and then you also have a cross aisle. That's what's represented here. There's an area where customers would pick up their vehicles and keys. And then we also have 2 areas where vehicles are dropped off to be parked. These spaces on the south side represent parking spaces. There will be 1 black vehicle in one of these spaces, and other vehicles may occupy the other spaces, or up to 1 of the spaces may be empty. So that will, allow for a number of variations that the teams will have to be able to handle. The robot will start on the main aisle with some part over the west edge. The specific orientation will be unveiled at the competition prior to work time. There'll be red bricks at each of these locations that the robot is required to visit for points. And then there's going to be a key rack with a key on the east side. And then there will be pylons represented by or batteries that are towards the end of each of the lines here. And then finally, items and landmarks may be added or modified for the World Championship Finals. We'd like to keep this option open depending on how well the teams are doing. The World Championship may require an extra level of challenge. So once again, the tasks are, the robot has to start in the unveiled location or orientation. It has to survey the parking lot, essentially visiting X, Y, and Z, and pushing the Lego bricks off the table. It needs to pick up the keys from the key rack and then deliver the keys and the black vehicle to the pickup location. The next task is to move the white vehicle box from a drop-off location to either a vacant spot, right, which could possibly be A, B, C, D, or E, and that would get you 10 points. Or if you can stack it on a vehicle that is adjacent to a vacant spot, you'll get 16 points. And I'll go over the specifics of what adjacent means later. If you park the robot and complete the ending task to find the UTF, that gains more points. And then avoiding pylons and other vehicles, keep them intact, and that will avoid penalties and get you extra points. It's a bit more field setup preparation than previous years, but one advantage of this year is no restriping is needed or reconfiguration of the field other than arranging the objects this year. Most dimensions are dimensioned from the west side of the field. Right, you've got black tape that does the striping, and then you've got dimensions for all the objects. Once again, we're using these hole reinforcement stickers to mark the location of the pylons and the corner of the vehicle locations. Differences between junior and senior divisions. They're significant. Game ending task, the senior will be a little bit harder and require sensor inputs. I'll get into that later. The location of the white vehicle is unveiled for the junior division before work time, but for senior division is unveiled after impound. Location of the black vehicles for both divisions unveiled before work time. Then the location of other vehicles for junior division, it's unveiled before work time. senior, it's unveiled after work time. Onboard controllers, only one is allowed for junior, but there's no limit for senior. And then vision sensors, not allowed for junior, allowed for senior. Next, I'd like to go over the materials list. We're going to use the same type of plastic folding table for the main field. The floor underneath the fields, once again, will have good contrast. We've got some like size ranges for the vehicles. For the black and the white vehicles, we will be using boxes. We've got a link to the one type of box that we purchased at Amazon, or you may use empty tissue boxes that are wrapped in black or white paper. So we specify the potential size range and the potential weight range. So actual box type is an unknown factor. For other vehicles, also it's a specification. There's a maximum of 4 of them. We'll be using black, brown boxes in the diagrams and probably for most of the local competitions, but the actual objects are unveiled in competitions. At the competition, here are the ranges, 10 to 20 centimeters in each direction. And I'll show you some potential examples on the next page. The X, Y, and Z marker blocks will be standard 2x4 Lego bricks. The keys will be a metal with a ribbon. Those of you that have participated in Robofest before, hopefully you'll have one on hand. And here are the approximate dimensions. Also, Q-Rack, I'll go into those details later. Pylons will be represented by AA batteries. Black electrical or painter's tape will be used for the lines. Hole reinforcement stickers for the markers, and then transparent tape to secure the boxes. Yeah, this is what we mean by possible examples of other vehicles. It could be, simply boxes, or it could be some sort of structure made of cups or cans or anything else that's kind of within those dimensions. I should note that the other vehicles, their main function interaction is for stacking or avoiding. So hopefully the variation in shape should not drastically affect the coding for this challenge. Here's some more detail on the key rack. Basically, we want the keys are metal to hang freely. We want to have a gap, basically to allow the robot to get in there and grab it. It can be made out of Lego parts, VEX IQ parts, or wood. Yeah, here are the dimensions. We want to have some long rods, right? You can use Lego axles or VEX standoffs, or what you call finishing nails, which don't have a big head. Also note that there's a gap between the end of the table and this post. And also the key rack will be secured to the table with tape underneath and also to the floor. This will help keep it stable as the robot tries to pick it up, but it won't be totally rigid. So the robots have to have some, I guess, finesse coded into the program. Okay, robot specifications. Robots, teams may only compete with one robot at a competition. Robots must be created by students. Any robot kit and material may be used. Maximum length and width is 35 by 35, including expansion. No height limitation, no weight limitation. I should note, though, it's a very tight course this year. So I think it's best if you try to stay well under the 35 by 35 maximum. Any number types of sensors, unless harmful to humans. The exception is no vision allowed for junior division. Any type number of motors. And for inspection, that's what these specifications are for down here. All wheels must be touching the table as the robot would be performing during inspection. We have the standard labeling requirements, Robofest team ID, and the front, a label indicating the front of the robot. This helps the judges during the setup process. A display screen for a game ending task is required. And then robots must be started using a button or sensor on the robot, not by a tablet or computer. And robots cannot damage the field or game elements, or they will be subject to a penalty. Okay, violations, full reset, end of run declaration. When any of the following violations occur, judges shall stop gameplay to avoid disruption of the field. If it's touched by a human, if the robot falls off the table, or any other activities deemed illegal by the judge. At that point, the team can request a one-time full reset with a small penalty. If the reset is selected, time continues to run while judges reset the table. Oh yeah, I should mention, yeah, they can do that if there's a violation or if they just want to restart because of some problem that they're having. Teams may declare the end of the run at any time. Players should not move the robot until instructed by the judge. If the robot is still moving when the team calls end of run or at the time limit, no points will be awarded for game ending task, which requires the robot to stop. Only contestants are allowed in the pit area and fields. When the unknown task and factors are unveiled, teams will be provided a hard copy or it will be projected on the screen. Teams will be given 30 minutes to work on work after the UTFs are unveiled. And then prior to the start, all the adults, other than the authorized staff volunteers, will be dismissed from the areas. And then during the work time, teams must share the fields. Teams may ask clarifying questions about the UTF, but any questions regarding scoring should be referred to the rules. All teams must submit their robot to impound when the 30-minute work time is expired. Robots may be taken early. Only one team member should deliver the robots, and then if not impounded at the time, there may be a penalty. During the impounding process, judges will inspect the robots. No power may be supplied at impound. Teams will compete in a predetermined order decided by the site host. And then during the game rounds, all team members must remain in the team spectator area. When a team is called to compete, a maximum of 2 contestants are allowed on the field. The judge or MC will check if the timer is ready, the judges are ready, the teams are ready, and then do a countdown to start the game run. Contestants must stay near the start zone. They should not follow the robot. You're right, we don't want any interference of the robot by the teams, or it also helps the judges to judge if the contestants kind of stay still. Final scoring is done after the run is over. A team member must sign the scorecard to confirm the team's score, and then teams will play 2 rounds, each round having a different set of UTFs. All right, rules to determine winners and break ties. We introduced a new system called Best Plus Average over 2. We're going to continue that this year. We had some good feedback about it, and I'll try to explain how that works. Tiebreakers are best of 2 rounds and highest time left from best score if it's 100 points, and then rerun if necessary. However, with Best Plus Average, one advantage is that there are not that many ties, but let me explain sort of how it works. Yeah, just giving some background. In the past, Robofest has used just the average of the runs. Other robotics competitions such as World Robot Olympiad or First Lego League have used just the best of the rounds. We feel that best of average has a good balance, requiring both a consistent robot and a high scoring robot. So here's how it works, right? For the rounds, we'll record the rounds, we'll calculate best plus average, divide by 2, which is basically just to put it on a 100-point scale. So in this example, you can see Team A and Team B, they basically had identical scores, right? The best plus average, both 95. If we go to the first tiebreaker, they're both 100, so we would have to go to the highest time left from the best score. So Team A did it faster. They had 15 seconds left over, so they ranked ahead. If the best score was not 100 points, we would have gone to the third tiebreaker, which would have been a rerun. Okay, what makes Team C third place? If you look, their best plus average was slightly below. But you let's see. Compared to the fourth place team, for example, if we'd gone by average score, it would have been the same result. If we'd gone by best score, it would have been a tie. But again, this team shows, I guess, a good combination of consistent and high scoring, which separated it from the next teams down. Now, if you look at Team D and E, you can see that basically their best plus average score was the same, but we went to the tiebreaker. Team D had a higher best score, so they got the tiebreaker. And I guess this is a good illustration. If you look, if we had just gone by average score, in this case, Team E actually had a higher average, but Team D had a higher best score. So you can see in this case, we reward having a higher performing robot overall, even if it's only in the one round. So looking at it another way, best plus average gives your team a chance to recover if the first round does not go well. So you see Team D, they had a 60 the first round, but they recovered, got 100, and that basically kind of illustrates how consistency is still very important, but you with the system you can recover from a bad round. So that's why we like it. Yeah, so once again, best plus average is designed to help teams that score high in at least one of the rounds. The effect is to reward teams that attempt and attain higher performance while still rewarding consistent performance. And as I mentioned, we did a survey of the coaches last year, and we showed some strong support for the best plus average method. Yeah, the ones liking it were 71% versus don't have a preference 17%, and do not like was less than 10%. This is the scorecard for this year. Let's go over it briefly. Pushing or scanning the surveying the parking lot. Basically, is the brick pushed off or not? So yes or no, 7 points each. Delivering the black vehicle to the pickup location If it's in the correct location, anything touching is within the lines. 10 points. There's also a partial credit. And if it's just simply moved but not in the correct location, you also get some credit. Delivering the key, the correct location, and we define that as the metal is part of the key is completely within the lines. The ribbon can be outside, that's 10 points. If it's partially in, it's 7. And if it's moved but not in the location, it's 5. Okay, parking the white vehicle stacked in the adjacent spot is worth 16. Empty spot is 10. Moved is 5. And again, I'll go over those definitions a little bit later. Pylons, they're either upright in the original location or they're not. So if they're upright, you get 3 points each. Then game ending task. This year, we're going to divide it into 2 parts because we've seen in previous years some teams will be in the correct location but not have the correct calculation, or some will have the correct calculation and not the correct location. So we're splitting it up. It's 9 points for each half. So you get you can get partial credit this year for game ending task. Then we have a penalty if any of the parked vehicles are moved completely out of the parking spot. It's 5 points apiece, subtracted. Once again, we give a credit for robot remaining intact throughout the run, and then there's a 3-point penalty for a reset. Yeah. Now on to the specific definitions for the black vehicle delivered. Basically, what we're saying is it's got to be within the lines and the boundaries, which are highlighted here. So as long as all parts that touch, or I'm sorry, as long as all parts in plan view are within these lines, it's considered fully in the correct location. If it's just, part of it, just on the borderline, it's considered moved. Yeah, so we've got some illustrations here that show. I'm sorry, moved means it's not actually in the spot, but it's been moved from original location. Yeah, so these show delivered, these show partially, and these show moved. Okay, adjacent spots. This can be a little confusing, so we try to provide some definitions. So what we're saying is stacked on an adjacent spot means stacked on a vehicle that is next to a spot that is an open spot. So if that spot is here in A, the open spot is in A, this is the adjacent spot in B. If this is the open spots in B, these are the adjacent ones. So you note these are not adjacent, right? Because they're not adjacent to an open spot. Also, one that might be a little confusing, since there's an aisleway here, the adjacent spot to E is here. Yeah, and so forth. So hopefully this clarifies it. We'll also be providing which ones are adjacent on the judging sheets. Next, I'd like to go over some specific, or just some examples of UTS for each division. Yeah, so note these are just examples. Actual UTS will be different for each round. They may include different, stopping locations, measurements, calculations from these examples. But in this particular example, the robot starting orientation is facing east. The white vehicle location is in area 1. Black vehicle location is in spot B, and the other vehicles are as shown. And note in this example, there is, to begin with, an open spot in C. So basically for junior division, everything will be known before the 30-minute work period, and they'll have 30 minutes to adjust. And this is an example of the game ending task. Robot must be stopped in spot 1, nothing touching outside the lines, and facing northwest, and displaying the answer to this question. If the distance from the robot to X is 155 centimeters, how fast is the robot moving if it takes 6 seconds to go half the distance to X? So that would have to be displayed. Yeah, so as I noted, for junior division, everything is unveiled. However, there are probably at least 10 different scenarios that the teams would have to be prepared to look at. For senior division, it's going to be a bit more challenging because there's less, some things that are not unveiled until after work time. What is unveiled is the start orientation. The white vehicle location is unveiled after. You know it's going to be either spot 1 or 2, but not until after impound. Same, or the black vehicle location that is will be unveiled. In this case, it's spot E. However, the other vehicles you will not know until after work time. You will know that there may be up to 1 blank spot in the remaining spots here, but the rest will be occupied by a vehicle. And this is an example of the game ending task. The robot must be stopped with some part over location Z and displaying the answer to the equation total number of vehicles in spots A, B, and C squared. So note that this particular unknown, and I would guess senior unknowns in general, would require the robots to know or be able to sense what is vehicles are in these spots, right? So something that it has to do during the round, and during the round. Yes, and so senior is going to be requiring some bit of sensor input to do the task. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully, teams will find that interesting and challenging. Game video qualifier submission option. Once again, we have a video qualifier submission option. Teams that cannot attend in person or would like a second chance to qualify may compete via video, and then specific requirements are outlined in our general rules. All right, just to go over some frequently asked questions. Is there a limit on the number of controllers? For example, can I use 2 spike prime hubs? The answer is junior is limited to 1. However, there is no limit for senior division. All right. Next, is there an adjacent spot to spot E? If so, where? And the answer is yes, it is in spot D, as I covered earlier. Right, if this is the open spot, here's 1 potential adjacent spot. Similar situation here, right? If black vehicle is here, the adjacent spot would be in D. Does the robot need to survey the lot before any other tasks are completed? No, the survey can be completed at any time during the run. In fact, the task can be, there's no requirement on the order of any task, as long as the scoring criteria are satisfied at the end of the run. What if the white vehicle is stacked on the black vehicle in spots A or E? If that's the case, the white vehicle will be scored as parked in an empty spot, not stacked. Similarly, if the white vehicle is stacked on a vehicle that is not in an adjacent spot to an open parking spot, it would also be scored as parked in an empty spot, not stacked. Yes, I'd like to thank our game committee members, Mr. John Arnold, Ms. Batul Al-Salije, Dr. Christopher Cartwright, Professor Peter Gunther, and Dr. CJ Chung. All right, so at this point, are there any questions?
There is a chat question regarding it's from Justin. If a robot pushes off another vehicle, does the spot next to it become an adjacent spot?
Yeah, no. So as I explained, the adjacent spots are defined by the initial setup, and they'll be clarified in the judge's handouts. So once again, refer to, I guess I can pull it up again. Refer to. Yep, 10.1, right? These are the adjacent spots, right? Determined by where the black vehicle and the initial open spots are. So for example, if this box was pushed off, this would not become an adjacent spot. Do you see my cursor?
It's very small, but we can see it. It's on the
Yeah, okay.
second and
Okay.
second row over, second column.
Yeah. So that's one example, right? So similarly here, if either of these two were pushed off, right, the only adjacent spot is still this one, right? So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, that would be scored as moved. It wouldn't even be scored as an empty spot at that point, correct?
See, if a robot pushes off another vehicle, does the spot next to it become an adjacent spot? Well, I mean, right, the spot next to it doesn't become an adjacent spot. So I'm not sure what you're saying, Shannon.
Well, how would we'll have to look at this, Justin. We'll decide and add this to the FAQ and how it would actually, the white box will need to be scored a certain way, and it would be scored as
Okay, you're
moved.
saying what if the white box winds up in the spot that was
Mm-hmm.
oh, I see.
Yeah, if it's parked in that empty spot that after a vehicle's been moved out of that spot, it's scored as a moved. It's not even scored as in an open
Right.
spot.
An open spot, no. Right.
So, and then you would have the penalty for moving the other vehicle.
Right.
If
But
it's
yeah,
moved
we
out.
should that's a good question. We can.
Yeah, we'll add that to the FAQs. That's a
Yeah.
really good scenario.
Yes.
Thanks.
Question?
Yeah.
Okay, they can use, in the junior division, they can have any number of motors, right?
Yes.
But can the motors have an independent battery? This was one we came up with last year. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the battery is called for the little golf balls. This thing acted like a street sweeper and would sweep the balls up. But I didn't want the kids to use it because I wasn't sure it was legal to have an external power supply to those batteries. Because once it was turned on, it just ran through the competition as the robot ran around the table, and it just swept up the ball.
I see. I mean, is there any way, is it controlled by the robot brain or no?
No, it's just
Okay.
turned on and left on. Now, it would be possible to replace that switch with a light sensor, a light sensing diode that picked up one of these illuminated squares on the sensor. On the brain. Light up one little square on the brain and trigger the switch.
Yeah, I would say that would be legal, but right, but it has to be autonomous, and the robot has to start with nothing moving. So yeah.
Okay, so
right, the first scenario would not be allowed, but that would be
because it was controlled by the external switch. And
yes.
so as long as the on and off, it can use an extra battery. Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, as long as it's autonomous, it's good. And I have not been able to find one for spike primes, but if there is like a multiplexer that allows you to expand ports, that's allowed too.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find one, but we basically made one.
Yes, good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Wonderful.
Are there any other questions regarding the game rules or anything that we've covered to this point?